Hey, beautiful people. I'm Avalaura. All right, let's talk about it. Like most of you, I was in the chokehold all weekend watching Miss ReesaTeesa. 2 days, didn't finish until it was like 2 a.m. on Sunday. Actually, no, I didn't finish then. I had to stop and continue on Sunday, right up until she did the 2 hour live. So I watched all 50 episodes plus the 2 hour live plus Legion's response. So I'm ready to talk about it. First of all, for all my Facebook peeps who joined TikTok or re-engage with TikTok so they could see this because of my posts, you're welcome. Now you can join the discussion too. I talked about it so much on Facebook yesterday. Everybody and their mama was coming over to TikTok to see what I was talking about. So ReesaTeesa, I hope that got your engagement up. I hope you got your dollars because of that. You are welcome. Let's talk about it. I've seen a whole lot. There's so much I could say. I could easily do several parts, not no 50, but I could do several parts just breaking down everything that we witnessed. First, I want to say, Miss Reesa, is that your name or is that your TikTok name? I don't know. But I do want to say, listen, I applaud you for your vulnerability. I applaud you for your bravery. And to all of y'all judging, let me say this. Y'all don't need to judge her because I know this woman has judged herself enough for everybody. When you have been through trauma, I promise you, let me tell you, all you do is judge yourself. I should have known better. I could have done better. What's wrong with me? She's probably beat herself up for years. So you calling her dumb, you calling her stupid, you saying you would have seen the red flags, what was wrong with her, what was going on with her. I'm going to talk about that. But you saying all of that, it doesn't help. It's mean and it's insensitive. Instead, what we should be doing is learning from her experience so we don't have to experience ourselves. Because I promise you, you could do it too. It might not be a legion, but there's a whole lot of other legions out there who are smarter than him, who are better looking than him, they got more cash than him, and they could get you just like he did. So we need to learn from this experience. So I applaud you for your bravery, for your vulnerability. I applaud you for talking about something that a lot of people won't talk about. I have been a life coach for 18 years now. I have been in social work, counseling for over 20 years. And I will tell you, you are absolutely not alone. There's a lot of women suffering in silence who have been through something similar, not the same thing, but they've been through similar stuff and they're not talking about it because they're ashamed. And they will never talk about it because they don't want to be judged like you're being judged. So I applaud you for it because this is a masterclass in everything not to do. And I'm not even saying that to throw shade. It is a masterclass in everything not to do. Okay? So we need to learn from it. Let's learn from it. So that's the first thing that I want to say. The second thing that I want to say is that there's so many things. This is not a red flag issue. This is a mindset issue. It's not a red flag issue. It's a mindset issue. Everybody's focusing on the wrong, on the red flags. Well, the first thing is, he wanted to move in fast, all these things. And that is important. But here's the thing that I want you to understand. And she said it. And this is why I appreciate your vulnerability so much. Because you took accountability. Like, listen, I was wrong too. I let a fox in. He could not have come in and done what he did if I did not let him in. So you took accountability, and I appreciate that because that's important for your healing process. It's also important for us to understand that when, traumatic things happen, sometimes we contribute to it. It's not just the person who did it. We allowed it to happen. That's important. But this was not a red flag issue. She admitted we all can see the red flags from here to kingdom come. There was red flags enough for everybody. She done said it was a United Nations of red flags. That's obvious. What's not is why it was allowed to happen in the first place. And have you ever been in that space that she was in to allow things to happen that never would have happened if you weren't in that space? This is a mindset issue. She was, and I don't know how old she is. So, but she was at that age. I'm ready to have a family. right? I'm ready to settle down. I'm ready to be married. You know, women, we got that biological clock ticking when we hit our 30s, right? It's like, I got to start having children soon, or I may not have children, right? All of these different things that, you know, and she's also religious, right? She's Christian. So it's the whole thing, you know, no sex before marriage, no moving, no, you know, no dude in before marriage, like all of these things that are going through your head that you have to contend with. It was a mindset issue. So when something, not the thing, but seemingly enough like the thing came, oh, okay, I can deal with that. It's similar enough. Y'all hear what I'm saying? It's not quite right, but it's enough right that I can look past the things that are not right and make excuses for it and overlook it because it's presenting well. Saying all the right things, doing all the right things, taking care of them bills. Y'all, she done said that many a times. He paid all the bills. He was taking care of her. He was a provider. So he was giving her enough of the things that she wanted to be able to overlook the rest. Again, now you got to look at yourself. How many times have you done that? How many times have you had situations where it's like, something is off, right? Intuition is going off. Gut is like, something ain't right. But it's similar enough that now I'm looking at myself and judging myself and thinking, well, you know what? Maybe I'm not right. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just scared, right? Maybe it's my trauma. Maybe it's what somebody said to me. So you start questioning yourself, right? Because ultimately you want what you want so bad that you're willing to overlook it. That's the lesson here. It's not the actual red flags, which we should know. It's the mental, because the red flags would have been apparent if mentally she was in a better space and not feeling like, you know what, I want this bad enough that I'm going to overlook all this other stuff. How many times have you done that in life? Because we've all done it. I'm a woman. We have all done it. That's what you need to be looking at. I'm sure when you look back at your history, you can point to things you're like, yeah, I knew better. And you did it anyway. And then you learn the consequences afterwards. See, yup, my intuition was right. This is, ladies, what we need to pay attention to is where are we mentally? Where are we emotionally? How are we handling our mental and emotional so we don't get tripped up, caught up, right, into things that we know ain't right, but it feels right enough. The other thing that I want to say, too, is, like I said, I personally know women who have had experiences, who have been conned, who have been scammed, because ultimately that's what it was. This was a con job. Y'all tripping on the fact, red flags. He was a con artist, okay? He was a con. Pathological liar, whatever you want to call it, a con. He also was a homosexual. Dude had nowhere to live, right? He didn't have enough. He took his money and he was supporting her household, but he didn't have enough to support multiple things going on. He didn't have enough to live. Once he lost his job, which it sounds like he done regularly, right? He was not stable. He was a homosexual. He needed a place, right? So the thing that I want to mention, I know personal people, but I'm not going to talk about my clients, and I'm not going to talk about people that I know. I will talk about, there's a woman, and y'all will probably, y'all TikTok, y'all will dig anybody up, right? I can't think of her name. She wrote the book. It was like the godmother of Hollywood or something like that. Beautiful actress, I think Jennifer something. There was a special, and y'all can find it. She was talking about, she was conned by a man. I believe she was in a relationship with, I don't know if they were talking marriage or something, but he presented well. He had the money, he had the clothes, he had the pedigree, all the things. He knew other people in Hollywood. He checked off all the boxes. Girl, he was a whole con artist. She borrowed, and now I'm fuzzy on the details. He borrowed money from her and she never got it back, didn't hear from him again. This happens on all levels. This is not about her. This literally happens on all levels. So while you might not have fallen for Legion, I bet there's some man out there that if he really wanted to get you, he could. Because what they do, let me explain something. I don't know how old Legion is. He looked like he's in his 40s or 50s or whatever. That man done had 40 years of practice conning people. He's had 40 years of manipulation. He's had 40 years of telling people what they want to hear, looking at their responses, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work. He has had 40 years to practice. She had none. There was no way. She didn't know. We didn't know. If you've never encountered anything like that, you have no idea what you're going to do until you encounter that. You are not prepared. I said something earlier on that honest people get tricked because we're honest. We want to see the best in people. We don't even think that there's people out here who would do such a thing. That's what she was up against. That's what we're all up against. So this is going to be out of town. Like I said, I can do a part 2 if you want to hear it, but we need to look at the mindset.